And there goes the live.
Yes. What's going on, Vanna girl? Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. I cannot believe that we are almost in December and at the end of 2022. It's been crazy. It's been
Yes.
crazy.
I mean, this year is just you blink, it's gone. Now we at the dang on, the time done gone back. So
I know, right? So you kind of dragging a little bit because it doesn't feel right. So yeah. If y'all see me yarning whatsoever, don't judge me. Don't judge your girl. It's late night. I'm trying to get hip.
I know.
Whew. You ready? Because this is a lot, Kelly. We got a lot to dive in today. Whew.
I'm ready. I mean, we need to get into it because we got hella
Oh,
stuff to
a
cover,
lot.
y'all.
A
So
lot.
we're gonna get into it once you hop on. We'll acknowledge you, all of that good stuff. And don't be shy. Don't be
Say
shy if you hop
hey in the comments.
please say hey and share.
Yeah.
So we finna get into this night live, and I know I always start with the county stuff because it's just my
Cause
county
you got a
people.
special love hate for us. I know, Kelly.
It's all love, no hate. It's all love. Y'all be going through it. I'm just gonna say.
We
So
stay going through it.
you
Pray
know what
for us.
I'm saying. So I'll just get to it.
Oh God.
I'll get to it. So St. Louis County, y'all, yes, overpaid up to $6 million to Brentwood in sales taxes.
We paid out, y'all. 6 million additional monies.
So I'm not gonna get into the details because I don't know all the details. But during the one of the county councils, one of their committees meetings, I think it's personnel and revenue. So they had the meeting to discuss this in greater detail to really get an understanding of like what the hell was going on. So the city of Brentwood, the mayor, he gave his 2 cents. The treasurer for St. Louis County, she gave her 2 cents as well as far as on their end what happened, and then yeah. They also shared, how they'll make sure that this doesn't happen again. So we're gonna start first because I like the receipts. I like the clips.
Yeah.
So
You
we
can't be saying we just saying something.
exactly Kelly and Vanna, no.
Oh.
Okay. So we gonna get into this clip. It's a little long, but this is the mayor of Brentwood, and he pretty much breaks down the whole situation and what happens.
And um, we are an A city or a point of sale city. And as you stated, we share some of our sales tax revenue with the pool cities. And every month, our retailers collect up all their sales tax and they send it to the state. State pulls out what it's entitled to, sends the balance to the county. The county then goes through the calculation and sends to the A and B cities their respective portions. And every month, Brentwood would receive, when we're talking about the 1% sales tax, which is what's at issue here, we receive by wire transfer those funds. And I have a document I'd like to share with the committee. With your permission, may I approach? If you could, the clerk will take it and distribute it, Mayor. This is a document that one of our attorneys put together for us as this came to a head on October the 14th. And really the two columns that I just want the committee to focus in on is the one on the far left and on the far right. The far left is the time period and the far right is what we receive from the county. So if you look at the first row, 202107, that would be for July of 2021. And you can see that we received 232,837 in this 1% tax from the county. That's what we got. And again, or add to this, that July, we don't receive that until about the first part of the next month. And really, that's capturing the sales from the prior month. So when you see July of 2021, my understanding is that's really for the sales that took place in the month of June. So as we move down each of those successive months, August, You see September, and you drop down. You see we received 753,000. That corresponds to maybe the end of November, part of December of 2021, which is why it was high. That was the high that we had received. Then you go down to May of 2022. Well, first we go April of 2022, we received $268,000. The next month we received $2,133,930. So $2.1 million. We never received seven figures from the county for this 1% tax. We knew immediately that there was a problem. And if you continue, you'll see that the next month we received 1.6, 1.9, 1.6, and 1.3. So when we became aware of this in June of this year, we reached out to the county and we told them that it didn't look right. And we asked them to look into it, and they said the county acknowledged that it did not look right, and they were going to contact the state of Missouri. We didn't hear back from them, so we reached out to them again in August, and we said, essentially, where are you on this investigation? And they responded, the state said everything looks right, and just by the way, everything is high across the board. Again, we still didn't believe that at our Ways and Means meetings. We were cautioning the aldermen that these numbers that were coming in, there's no way in the world that it was correct. And to put it in perspective, this 1% sales tax through end of September, we normally would have realized anywhere from $4 to $4.2 million. This year through September, we received $10.6 million. So again, we knew something was seriously wrong here. And it was only through the persistence of our city administrator, Bola Akande, continuing to contact the county that they finally acknowledged that they overpaid us. And that acknowledgement took place on Friday, October the 14th, by way of a telephone call. Once our city administrator alerted this to me, I said for the next Board of Aldermen meeting, which would be the evening of the 17th, Monday, I would like our attorneys to present to the board this information, because the county also told Bola on Friday that they would have for her the amount of the overpayment. So I said, that's great. Let's let our board know. And Monday came and went, and we never heard from the county as to the amount. The next day, Tuesday, they contacted Bola Akande and said, we found out what the error is. It's a coding error, but we still don't know what it is. We don't know how much it is. It's going to take us quite a while to unwind or unravel all this payment to see how much it is. And they said for right now they're working on that first month, 2.1 million. So that's how we got to where we are today.
Oh Lord. So I know that was like 5 minutes. That was a lot.
Oh, that money. That's a lot of money.
So again, y'all, the city of Brentwood, they knew that they numbers wasn't, they knew the math wasn't mathing.
That part, clearly.
In June. June.
But they kept paying them though.
And they told them, hey, St. Louis County, this math ain't mathing. And then they were like, yeah, everything's high. So it's
from 100,000 to millions. That's
high. Isn't that crazy to go from that? You know, they said their max was $750,000 they received from this 1% sales tax. $750,000 was 1%. So, I mean, that's a lot. And shout out to the city manager for Brentwood to really flag that and to for them to not spend that money because they knew that something wasn't right. So a coding error. So we gonna get back into this. As I mentioned, that was the city of Brentwood. And I'm an equal opportunist. So I really want the people to also hear the treasurer, the St. Louis County treasurer. I want y'all to hear her take on the situation. Okay, so we gonna listen to her.
I personally found out in an email from the state, September 27th, the information, and I looked at that, and it was obvious immediately looking at it that something was wrong or that something had significantly changed. So we reached out to our partner, Regis, who developed the software system we use. And remember, because we're the only ones that do this, there's no commercial software out there to help us with this. We're using an older set of an application that we really need to bring in house. And we're actually actively working on that right now. If we can bring this in house, I think that we could make some significant improvements to it. So, what happened months prior to June is the state was including a site code 2314 that wasn't supposed to be included in the file that came to us, and it was bombing our process out. So once we figured out what was happening, our technical support person was mapping this to Brentwood because it was described as Brentwood so that we could get our process to move forward. We were working with the state to try to get this rectified, and we did confirm that that code should not be in there. And that's a state code, not a county code. And it's mapped to a municipal code within our system that we use for our distribution. So this happened during June, July, August, September, and October. And once we realized what was going on, we were able to fix this and map it appropriately. And now we're working to figure out the exact numbers to provide to Brentwood for the overpayment. So during June, July, August, and September, I did not realize, when I say the county, I'm talking about, I did not realize, and I do have a new person in the Treasury Operation Manager's position. We've been working very diligently because we want to make sure that this is accurate and that we give an accurate number to Brentwood. So we've worked with Regis, who developed our system. We've set up a test database. We've loaded all the information in. Now, you can't isolate this and just look at 1 month, as I think was alluded to earlier. Some of these computations are based on year-to-date information. And so, especially the county per capita, determining if you're going to be taking away from A and putting to B, it's looking at your cumulative activity to this point. And so you have to start with the first month and get it right before you go to the next month. Now, we did run some preliminary reports to get some numbers. And this is only based on a first run. So that means this is before, as when I talked about my process earlier, it's before the adjustments, before the redistribution. And so I can't really use these numbers, but it does show, as we expected, that the actual distribution in June, which was over 2 million, really should have been around 609,000 prior to adjustments. And this makes sense. So I want to go back to that site code mapping. When we pulled that code out and we were able to make the system work, somehow inadvertently, Brentwood got mapped to a county code, 000. So those excess funds that we were sending to Brentwood were funds that were intended for the county. Had they gone to the county would have retained, and it will be doing this, and this would have happened if this hadn't happened. But some of the funds do need to be redistributed back to the B pool.
So, Shavannah, again, I am a city resident. I am not a county resident. So, hearing again the city of Brentwood, what the mayor had to say as far as the overpayment from St. Louis County, them flagging the situation, them reaching out to St. Louis County, the and their response, and then we hear the treasurer.
Did you hear she say that she got her word from state in September? So it was like, even though he said that he was contacting them in June, what happened to the communication?
I don't know. But no, to your point, communication is key, right? And so hopefully they really take a step back and analyze this. So again, understanding the communication, the streamlining of that when there's an issue, so it can be handled appropriately. That's everything. But what do you like hearing this as a county resident? Like what are your thoughts, or do you have any other questions about it?
I mean, we literally giving out 2 point some $1 million. And then just the process, because she's saying it needs to go back into this pool, right? So does that mean that other people lost money, other municipalities? Does this mean that this is money that we could have had in our budget to do things with? Because we are clearly in a what almost in the form of a deficit, right? So where is this money going to go back to? Where did it come from? Like, like all these, because it sounds like it goes back to a pool where I guess other municipalities may need it. So
Yeah.
does that mean other municipalities were underpaid? They need to go back and
Yes.
into their pools and make sure that, shout out to Brentwood because they own their P's and Q's, right? Because
They're
now
like, wait, this don't look
you
right.
need other municipalities to check their pots and be like, oh, wait a minute, maybe that's their money.
Yes. So for anyone that is out there, please, please, if you are a St. Louis County resident, reach out to your local elected officials. Ask them, hey, are we they call it a pool city?
Yeah.
Are we a pool city or a B city? If so, yeah, you need to check your sales tax revenues because you might be missing some coins. And feel free to share this clip that we're sharing. You know what I'm saying? Feel free to share that clip with your people, y'all.
Because
Because this
it's
is
coming from them, y'all. Like we ain't altering this. This is what they've said verbatim. It's
no,
coming from them.
and she literally said that there may be some
She
funds
did.
missing from those B or pool cities. So message
Yeah.
just putting out there. So
Whew.
I do want to wrap up though, because we are solutions oriented. Me and you, like Shavannah, like we don't like to be griping and complaining all the time. We always want to, okay, so this happened. I do have to shout out and commend the treasurer though, because she owned it. She said we messed up. We blanked up. You know what I'm saying? So she owned it. She wasn't like, well, no, because other
She
people.
wasn't running from accountability.
Exactly. I was just about to say that. No, she wasn't like this. She took it on the chin. She showed true leadership by saying, you know what? It was our office, our mistake. Um, so I commend her for that.
I
And
do too.
also,
I give her that because that's what we need in leadership anyway. Because
Mhm.
you're going to make mistakes. It's part of the process. Y'all not human, right? So own up to it and say, hey, but get it right. And I think that's what they're working on, right, Kelly? The next clip is like they're working on a process to make sure that doesn't happen again. But yeah, shout out to them for not again running from accountability. Because some people like to.
Let me stop. So, but yes. So let's listen to hear what the solution is to make sure that this won't happen again in St. Louis County.
There's two different things that we're going to be looking at on that, Sherwoman. The first is actually a dashboard that we're putting together that we should have in about 2.5 weeks, which will contain all of the history of the information coming in from the state and the history of the information being distributed out to the municipalities, so that we can actually do a year-on-year check. So we could look at, July 2022 versus July 2021 versus July 2020 from both what the state was delivering to us to look for variances. We're setting up an alert for 3% difference year over year, as well as sales tax paid out to municipalities, also with a 3% variance. That'll give us a visual and an alert anytime that there is a variance that's larger than what you would expect on a year to year on sales. We anticipate having that out in about 2 to 2.5 weeks and available internally. The technology does allow us to make that out externally, but that would have to get to Karen, the county executive, if we want to share that publicly. But we'll have that check and balance in place in about 2.5 weeks.
So y'all see, look, they already on the case, getting a dashboard together, making sure that if there is that variance, he said within 3% or whatever, it is flagged and they get the alert. So again, they can be mindful and be more timely in just making sure something like that doesn't happen again. 2 to 2.5 weeks. That's what Chuck said.
Come on, man.
So I do have to say shout out to again how they handled the situation. It's very it's an interesting situation.
It is. That's a lot of money, yo. Six
So
mil.
facts. So we don't. Speaking of money,
Money. Money.
um,
Yeah.
ARPA, American Rescue Plan Act. So we talked about this last week because
ARPA.
the St. Louis County Council appropriated like $65 million, I believe it was. But there's still about 570,000 left. So we wanted to provide the update that the county council, they approved a bill appropriating $500,000, and it will go to the Urban League. And I believe it'll help them finish up there's some senior housing development project or something going on. So those coins will go to support that project. So yeah. All right.
I'm gonna say I ain't got nothing to say about that one. I'm gonna plead the fifth.
So on that note, we're gonna get into my city people.
Finally, because Kelly, I know St. Louis County gives you a lot. They give us a lot to cover.
all day, every day. But the city's been pretty busy. They had quite a few meetings last week. And I know one of the meetings, their streets, traffic, and refuse committee meeting. For the past couple weeks, they've been talking about this bill sponsored by Alderman Page that establishes additional requirements to improve the safety on these surface parking lots. Now, when I'm talking about additional requirements, I'm talking things like fencing around the property. I'm talking about really making it so that vehicles can only enter and exit only when there's an attendant on duty, or there's a secure gate, part of an automated payment system. Also, the attendant has to be on duty during the hours when the lot is being used by cars, unless the lot has that secured gate. Security lighting is required. And the lots have to be clean of trash and other debris before opening the next day. There are a few other additional requirements, but again, Alderman, the alderman that sponsored this bill, the purpose of him sponsoring again was to improve safety. A lot of these surface parking lots that this applies to are the ones that are downtown. And so we know it's been the Blockman hot. With these parking lots, cars are getting broken into. I mean, it's a lot of action going on. And so again, this bill, they've been talking about this for 2 weeks, y'all, in this committee. And I'll say it's really been a mixed bag. You have some folks that own these parking lots that are in favor of it because safety is good for business, right?
It is.
But this is gonna cost some real coins.
I was gonna say that sounds like it's gonna cost some money. So I'm shocked that the people who own it want it, because unless they got some, like, the city gonna cover some charges or something.
And so the people that were like, y'all need to come up with some coins to help us. So you had some of the owners, they were like that. Some of them were cool. Some of them were like, nah, we ain't got it like that.
Yeah.
And the older people, they were, they felt like it was a good start, but there still needed to be more work done on the bill to make it the best that it could be. Now, speaking of older people and what they had to say, I wanted to provide this clip because, again, this bill, the conversation carried over into last week. And so I wanted to share a clip from Alderman Bosley as he kind of speaks. He provides his 2 cents as far as how he feels about this piece of legislation.
Multiple parking lots where we have attendants there, and those parking lot attendants still have break-ins. They don't see, and if they do see something, once again, you have the idea now that you could potentially be shot just by engaging in somebody and saying, "Hey, I got you on camera. Get off the parking lot." So, these things. I don't want us to trade one thing for another thing that we believe is going to end up, alleviating a problem because of brand new problem or issue. We don't want to see more shootings happen downtown because we have more people engaging and wanting to be uh, uh, good at what it is that they do. Some folks who are into security, like I said, I've chased somebody out of garage. Now, that's not because I wanted to be an ego. I was doing my job. So, with that, you'll have other people that are also doing their job. And this is a day and age where that can get you killed, can get you hurt, it can get you shot, it can cause innocent bystanders to get shot. And I don't want us to only, to not uh, move our city forward based on what occurrences could potentially happen. But I just want us to be aware of those things are real instances that happen throughout our city that are not between just regular parking lot attendants. Once again, we had a sheriff that just got robbed in uniform right downtown. So, there has to be other things that we also think about. I don't know if this is all the way uh, the solution in terms of us being able to once again measure our outcome here in the future. I think it's a good start in conversation, uh, but I don't know if it's, and I'm not totally. I talked to Alderman Page this morning. I'm not totally against it, but in its current form, I don't believe that it addresses all the way the issues that we are believing it to address.
Yeah, so I appreciate that perspective,
Yeah,
again, in thinking about
people's lives.
and those parking attendants, they ain't getting paid a whole bunch of money now.
No, they're not.
So, and again, the sheriff that got robbed.
In uniform. Girl, you gotta laugh to keep from crying. Cause in uniform, like nobody they don't care out here. And appreciate it, like he's saying, like some people take their job seriously, so they're gonna be out here trying to really like, yeah, save the day in a sense. So you don't want to put people in that position, thinking that it's helping. Like he said, it causes another problem. Then we got more people deaths on our hands because putting bodies in the place of maybe machineries or something. I don't know.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I just agree that they need to really dig deeper, and that might not be the only. Because what is it? What can a real really? Come on now, like if it was me, what I'm gonna do? Call the police? I mean, because these securities don't have no type of weapons on them, really, honestly. So me calling the police is gonna help. They're gonna get away, or like you said, they're gonna shoot me. So I don't know. I think yeah, going back to the drawing board a little bit and diving. Not to say that it doesn't like it will be helpful. Like I agree. It's not to say like it's a completely like okay, that's it. But he's saying like this is not the answer only. So we have to really think about that. So shout
Yeah,
out to him.
I really appreciate.
And shout out to them though for even thinking about how to make the stuff. Shout out to the city folks for even thinking about how they can make their areas safe. I appreciate the conversation.
Yeah, it was,
Anyway, don't get me
and in addition to thinking about the attendant on duty, and making sure they're kept safe as well, I know there was a lot of discussion around checking out what other cities are doing, like Chicago, who, I mean, they parking is crazy,
started.
but they have a hella parking. So, kind of what are they, do they have any efforts? Are their efforts effective? I mean, I don't know, but at least trying to get a sense of what other cities are doing throughout the country, when it comes to improving safety of the cars that are parked on these lots. So, the conversation again, obviously I just provided that one snippet because this meeting was like hell is long, but it was very encouraging to hear some of the other alder people provide their suggestions and considerations. Especially I know Alderman Bosley was talking about outcomes. I love that, receipts, you know.
Yeah.
And doing a whole, I think it might have been Alderwoman Peel or somebody, I don't remember, but them working with the buildings people and the police or whomever to do an inventory of these surface lots and parking lots throughout the city to see, okay, do y'all have a camera? Do you have this? Do you have that?
Right.
How many break-ins, how many incidents did you have, at least as a baseline measurement, and then kind of go from there to say, okay, maybe we'll pilot a program where we implement a secure gate system or a camera, whatever it is, and then we kind of measure to see
If it's
if
effective or not. Yeah.
so. It was actually a productive conversation.
Okay.
So I was happy. So obviously they didn't vote on this bill because there's more work that needs to be done. But it seemed like they might work together.
Woo!
I know we
That's a
we
big
got.
one. Work together. Okay. No.
I
For the
know.
multiple
I know.
Shout out to them.
Speaking of safety, um, there was a meeting, public safety committee meeting last week to discuss what the city can do to prevent gun violence. And for people out there, I mean, I feel like everyone knows we live in the state of Missouri, aka Missouri, and
Man,
there's just a lot of trash ass laws, okay, in our state that we're subjected to. Um,
yes, it is. Unfortunately.
and some of those laws involve gun laws. So
Man.
it's kind of like the wild wild west out here. So one of the laws, so I'm gonna play this clip. So again, the city of St. Louis Board of Aldermen, they're really just trying to think through and understand, what are these state laws that are making it more difficult for us to really address gun violence and get all these guns off the street. So what are these state laws? And they're trying to understand that so they can start thinking through and talking through, okay, we know this is what the state is on. The
What's
state
the
is on.
loophole? Yeah.
So what can we do? Like what's within our jurisdiction, right, to control and get some of these guns off the street? So the Board of Aldermen's lawyer, Louis Galley. Sorry, bruh. I know I'm messing up your last name. But he provided an overview over one of these laws in the lovely state of Missouri that is making it difficult for us to truly address the
Gun.
issue of all these guns in our community. So listen to what he has to say.
Certainly, what the alderman is talking about is violations of the SAPA Act or Second Amendment Protection Act. Under the act, police officers who are found to be in violation of the act, that they have taken somebody's firearm in contravention to that, or the Missouri Constitution, or the federal Constitution, that they then would the municipality, I'm sorry, or the police department that employs them would then be liable potentially up to $50,000. That would require the person whose firearm has been taken away, whose rights have been, quote, deprived, to bring suit against the city. And if it is determined that there has been a violation of SAPA, then the penalty is $50,000. So it's not the liability is the city's or the agency, the law enforcement agency who employs the officer. The liability is not individual.
So, and I don't know if people were aware of this SAPA Act, but literally the police officers, if they say, hey, okay, they go to this call again, what happened unfortunately to the young man identified as the shooter of Central Visual Performing Arts High School, right? They went to his house like, yo, this gun doesn't need to be here, but legally they had no grounds to take it because
Yeah.
again, they were about getting fined themselves.
Yeah.
So even though when we're looking at some of these federal laws, they have the rights to take that gun, but our states Our state is like, nah, bump that. This is Missouri, misery. Um, a lot of questions there. Um, but I did appreciate this meeting because again, the board of aldermen in the public safety committee were like, yo, we want to support our police officers to make sure that they do the right thing. So hell, if our city gets fined 50K a pop, well damn, we riding we riding with our police officers and we will pay that 50K. So they were kind of talking about how can we support our police officers to make the best decision, because at the end of the day, saving lives, that trumps everything else. So they were kind of talking through some of those things. And then and because I want to ask you a question after this, Shavannah, but then there was also again continued dialogue around what could this look like, or what does this mean, right? And I have to shout out Alderwoman Sharon Tyus. She shared, I feel like, a bit of a silver lining, because this law, and I believe it was passed maybe in 2021, maybe, but it's kind of tied up in the courts right now. And so it may get overturned. Um by being on this legality. So we'll see, hopefully
Hopefully, right?
that happens. But in the meantime, in between time, something that she expressed was, yo, we need to have a conversation with our state elected officials to really get an understanding of like, what the hell was y'all thinking?
Now,
Yeah,
but I don't understand. But anyway,
I know. So what happened there? And so this is again a call to action for everybody, and even if you live in the county, wherever you are in Missouri, please reach out to your state elected officials and ask them about this, about the SAPA Act. To get their sense of, okay, so this happened, what can we do to overturn this and override this, what was going on, because this isn't good, and it isn't safe. So I don't know, Shavannah. It's sad. It's really sad, to put it lightly, but I felt encouraged listening to this meeting because it seems like for once, there's some real efforts and energy going into, again, figuring out, we know the states on their own thing, but as a city, how can we use our power and within our own jurisdiction to get these guns off the streets? Because, we got to save ourselves and we have power. So how can we leverage that?
yes, we do.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy that they have this law or this thing that's out there. I don't know.
I it, like who
To say
let me,
like and to think in a sense, all of this what just happened could have probably been prevented.
yeah, easily.
Easily
Hmm.
been prevented if they would
Easily.
have the gun.
Yep, easily. So, and something that I thought was really interesting was one of the older people made a really great point in saying, like, yo, like, people are talking about, oh my gosh, defund the police. No. And people are so anti defund the police, but you want to fine the police if they take a gun away from someone that people are concerned that will do harm to other people.
That's
So
crazy.
it's like,
It's so backwards. That is the
make it make sense. You
oh,
can't.
it's so backwards. It's
You
so
can't.
backwards. It does
Um,
not make sense. It does not. Yeah. It don't make sense. Just like right, y'all want to force people to have kids and babies, but don't want to help support them. Ooh,
mm,
man.
that part. Um, Pro life, right? Pro life. So the last real highlight we've got, so obviously to be continued on the gun violence, addressing gun violence situation. I'll keep you posted on that. But something I did want to lift up real quick. before we wrap up tonight. Again, ARPA, we talked about ARPA in St. Louis County. ARPA stuff's happening in the city of St. Louis as well. And there was a bill proposed during a meeting last week to begin implementation of the Economic Justice Action Plan. So if people are not aware, the St. Louis Development Corporation, they have released their Economic Justice Action Plan, which, you know, it seems like they're really, SLDC is really trying to do away with the status quo, business as usual foolery when it comes to development in the city of St. Louis, which usually happens with us, meaning Black people, being displaced, right? When it comes to development, redevelopment, the G word, all of that stuff, gentrification. So real quick, again, y'all can go online. You can check out the full Economic Justice Action Plan. I just wanted to highlight three of the pillars: economic empowerment, equitable and inclusive development, and neighborhood transformation. So again, go online, you can read the full shebang, but I just kind of wanted to lift some of those things up as far as what is being prioritized in this action plan. So these coins, let's get to these coins because that's what we want to know. How much money are we talking? So in this, you ready for it? You ready for it? $93 million, y'all. That's what's in the bill proposed. Now, obviously, I'm not going to go through every single dollar and where it's going, but you know, I did want to highlight some of the budget line items. So 63 million will go to support the Community Development Administration. Again, I'm not going to go through how all of that coin's being spent, but I did want to lift up a couple things in that budget line item. $1 million will go to support Bill STL, a contractor developer training program for licensing, insurance, and bonding, which is really, really, really important for our Black owned contractors, smaller ones, you know, that maybe need that extra support. So I think that's good. Also, $4 million in that budget line to support the Home Ownership Fund, which will provide down payment and closing costs help for homeowners and city employees. And other public sector employees would be prioritized because the thing we keep hearing about is across the board, but especially within local government, you know, people ain't checking to work there. So this may be an incentive to kind of get more folks engaged and involved. So the other bigger budget line items, the rest of them, $13.5 million to the Affordable Housing Commission. You got $7.5 million going to the Department of Human Services, $8 million to the Building Division, $1 million to Slate. So again, you can see on the slide kind of what those things are given. Something I did not include as I'm looking at it now. Somewhere on here, there is funding allocated, and I can't think of the exact dollar amount, but there is funding allocated to support community development corporations, as well as neighborhood associations as well, other community groups, to give them the coins so that they can bring about the changes that they want to see in their community. So we're talking about neighborhood transformation.
Okay.
That's it right there. So I'm here for this.
Go ahead, city folks.
I'm here for it. I am. Let's get it. So I'm here for it.
Shout out to
This bill, it passed out of committee, so it will head to the full board of Aldermen for its full approval. I'm not mad at this. I think this is a really great start in really transforming.
Yeah, I mean, y'all gave it to. I love the idea of giving it to the people in the community.
Do it, because we know.
I'm just saying.
We know.
Shout out to St. Louis County.
Dang. All right. Dang, okay. So with that being said, that's timely. Actually, this is really, I feel like that's the perfect segue for this.
It is.
Y'all, unless you live under a rock, tomorrow is the big day.
Yes.
Yay. Let's get it. Vote day. Yes. So
Tomorrow is.
you go and vote. So Vanna, what do you kind of what are your thoughts on tomorrow and voting and how are you feeling about it?
I would say that I probably feel like a lot of people, or should I say most people, is like, man, it's slim pickings out here in these streets. Um, it is slim pickings out here in these streets. But um, you know, there's people that are better than others. So I will definitely be making sure I cast my vote. But for me, it don't stop at the casting the vote. It's about accountability. Yeah, I love screaming that word, especially when we're talking about leadership and politics. Accountability is real. And so, yes, I'm gonna be out here voting, but the people that I vote for and the people I don't vote for, if they may get in office, I'm ready
Mhm.
to hold them accountable. So I know we kind of had a situation yesterday. We were engaging, so I'm moving forward in a new direction of trying to engage with more with some of these people in leadership, if they're on my team or not. Meaning if they they feel what I feel or if they don't feel what I feel. I think we need to be at the tables having conversations with these people, and that's where the accountability part starts and developing some type of relationship because you can't hold nobody accountable if they don't know you.
That part. And that's what I try to stress to people because people are like, I don't know how you talk to them people. I'm like, well, them people, their votes, they're the ones making these damn decisions. We have to talk to these people, whether we want to or not, whether we like them or not, or we don't like how they look, we don't like their hair, we don't like their clothes, we don't like, oh, look at, I don't like how her face look or his face look. And why do he be talking like that? He just always look like somebody stink. You know what? Hell, maybe that's how they look. I don't really know. But at the end of the day, those people, they decide where money goes, where money doesn't go. They make so many important decisions. So we have to interact with them. If we claim we want for our communities, we have to talk to the people with the power, and those are the folks that, again, their votes make some extremely important decisions in our communities. And again, like Shavannah, you hit it, like whether they, with you or not, rock with you or not, hey, if you are elected to represent us, you work for us. um that's it. And so we have to be intentional
Very much so.
being in those spaces, even when we don't want to, even when we don't feel like.
Especially when we don't want to. Because I mean, if we're not, they love to be like, "Oh, I didn't know," or "Did you reach out to me?"
Oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord.
"Did you reach out to me?" You should reach out to me. You should reach out to me because I'm busy and I'm going to be like, I'm going to be not just your elected official. I'm an elected official for the state of Missouri. So you have to reach out to me. So y'all, even though we know as people who have a team of folks and as people who are in survival, I understand like we living, we working full-time jobs. And not to say that them people ain't busy, but we ain't got no team. You know what I mean? Usually it's just one of us, or maybe two of us, and we're tired. We're dealing with children, we're dealing with work, we're dealing with community. So we're dealing with a lot and we're in survival mode. So I understand that aspect. But I just really feel like y'all that we have to pull out some type of like strength to get into these elected officials. Yeah. Get up in there because they gonna keep doing what they're doing. What is it? Can't nobody check me, boo? That's the
Yep.
move right now. Can't nobody check me, boo. And yes, I'm with the people that be like, well, it's what it voting, it doesn't matter, or it's because these candidates ain't checking for what we need in our communities. Well, run, please. These we should have some like straight like this stuff should be very competitive. Elected officials and things like that in these spaces that these different um yeah, roles should be very competitive. We should have multiple candidates. So we need people to run because I agree. We need some quality candidates out here in the MO, okay? I get my inspiration from people around the world. Anyway, because we is in misery and we want to get out. So
Yeah,
yes, I know right now we gotta vote. Get out and vote, y'all. And
please.
vote because we voting for some whew, even on local level, it's important too. I agree, but y'all see what's going on in this Senate race? It's crazy.
And
Around,
y'all,
around the world. Shout
yeah.
out to Atlanta. We don't need no Walker.
I mean,
Shout
where
out
the
to Atlanta, but I
where
mean
the
Louisiana. There's a lot, and that's why I say I get a lot of my inspiration around the world. There's a great candidate running in Louisiana right now, and he was just talking about how many registered Black voters there are in his space in his state, and he was talking about how many even turned up to the polls. I mean, he was talking numbers like, so for me, y'all, we have to really think about it ain't just being registered to vote. It's like getting to the polls
Mhm.
and knowing what you're voting on. There's so many bills out here, so many things that we are voting on to change the Constitution. Know what you're voting on. I am not here to tell you yes or no. We are in that space. We are here to educate and provide the access so you can go find out for yourself. So do that, y'all. Go do your homework and get out and go to the polls, show up and vote.
Please do that. And voting is your voice, and it is very powerful. I know it
If
sounds
it
lame.
wasn't
It sounds
powerful, they wouldn't be
fake.
trying to take it.
They wouldn't be trying to. They wouldn't be trying to take it. And also, I just feel like that's how these folks they check for people that come out and vote consistently. I mean, you can look at it on multiple angles, whether, man, because I get a whole bunch of crap from people all the time, mail all the time. Like, damn, why am I getting all this literature? I'm getting all this literature because my black ass votes in every damn election. Even at that special primary election we had in the city where 6% of people came out to vote, my black ass, I voted in that. So I was like one of the 6%. So, again, people engage with you and people check for you when you come out to vote. If you talking all this rah rah and womp womp and you ain't doing this and you trash and da 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 da, but you don't come out to vote, it really doesn't matter. It literally doesn't. So you got to put up or show up. We in the show me state. So you need to show these people who's boss by
Mhm.
exercising your power because voting is powerful.
And mobilize. It's numbers to this. It's a numbers game.
It is a numbers game, and everybody named Mama think they a business owner out there. Everybody named Mama. I shouldn't say that. I'm not trying to demean people. I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be shady or anything. Y'all love y'all. But people always, if we talking about business, we talking about dollars, we talking about numbers. That's what this stuff is about too. And
It
numbers
is.
don't lie.
It's
You
numbers.
know,
So
men lie, women lie, numbers don't
numbers
lie.
don't lie. Yeah, numbers don't lie. So if you got 50,000 registered Black voters, and they voting, oh, they gonna come to your community.
Oh, with the
Oh, they
quickness,
gonna engage with your community.
quickness.
They gonna be like,
Shoot.
"Hey, what's going on? How y'all doing? What y'all need over here? How can I help you?" But again, for me, it's about when you come engaging and saying what you gonna do, and you get in that seat. Oh, and you don't do what you say you gonna do. Yeah, it's time to get you out and hold you accountable. Ain't no running from that accountability, baby. But it takes numbers, y'all. It takes numbers to do that. It takes numbers to show them that, yeah, you can't run from this accountability.
I really am. Like, for real, Shavannah, you need to coin that phrase. You need to get some
I'm
merch.
saying
Will
it
help.
right here,
It
right
will
now.
help.
We
I will
the
help
Hood
start
Talks
the
podcast shirt.
movement.
I'm finna do a new one tomorrow that says stop running from that accountability.
No, seriously, and because that is so true because that's all we see. That's it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And nah, it's over for that.
Yeah,
We
her doing
done.
a running man. Hey.
Um,
It's
whew,
real, y'all. It's real. So yes, please go turn up at the polls, educate yourself, go check out our videos, and go vote. Use your voice. And then when it don't go the way you want it to go, I will listen to you complain because you voted. I will listen
exactly.
because I'm gonna complain right with you.
Exactly.
I'm gonna
Um,
complain right
but
with
you
you.
can't complain if you don't vote. Like you
You
can't.
falling in with the status quo, and that's what they want us. They don't want us to. Cause
Mm-mm.
they getting in with what 2,000 people voting.
Shit, maybe. Oh, excuse me. Maybe even less than that.
Getting in with 100, 200, 300
I
people
mean,
voting.
people win elections
Yes, they do, y'all.
with 200 votes. I'm just saying.
Check them numbers. Numbers don't lie. They don't lie. They don't lie. So when you be like, I don't even know my elected official. Was you a registered voter? Because if you are, they probably ain't checking for you. So
Nope.
it's
Nope.
unfortunate. It is so unfortunate because I fight this all the time about how you serve everybody. You do. You serve everybody. But for them votes getting them in them seats. So they gotta go engage them voters before they engage you. You the last on the poll. Yeah, they ain't checking for you. And that's just
Not at
that's
all.
real. They ain't gonna tell y'all that. They not gonna say that, but yeah, we know.
It's the
We see
truth.
it. We see
It's
it.
the truth.
Yeah.
So yeah, but again, voting is part of holding these people accountable. So that's one part of it. It's not the whole thing because we need to be engaged and tapped into to all of this.
And shout
But
out to Kelly. She makes it so much simpler
man,
to tap in. So shout out to Kelly and Kelly MG314. So y'all better make sure y'all following her on all the platforms, okay? Because she is making it very much simple for us to tap in. And we need
trying
to. Oh,
it
I'm
ain't easy.
sus. My head go
Um,
off to you.
it ain't easy, but it has to be done.
Okay.
It has to
Shout out to you.
because yeah, us doing the same stuff and expecting
Thank
different
you.
results, it's not gonna happen. So we gotta extreme. It's time for extreme measures, and but yeah, so
It's not
um,
working.
I know. But hopefully again we'll see what happens tomorrow. I'm sure we'll probably be talking about some of the
Recap
out.
on next Monday.
Yeah,
Recap.
I think so. You know what? Why
Yeah,
not?
we
We
should.
should
And hopefully we
debrief.
have some guests to come in and feel like how they feel about that. Debrief.
Yes. You know what? You all stay tuned because we may have some special guests.
Yeah.
Joining us next week. So I don't know. Okay, Shavannah. So we kind of wrapping up here.
Yeah.
Did you have any bright spots or any special announcements you wanted to share with the people before we wrap up tonight?
I'm just super excited. The Hood Talks podcast has a newsletter. So if for y'all who don't know me, I am Vanna, the host of the Hood Talks podcast, community podcast out here just trying to do the work of pretty much uplifting community voices. Go check us out. Follow us on social media, the Hood Talks podcast, Instagram, Facebook. We got a YouTube channel as well, but we also have a newsletter. So you can go to our website and finding our new shout out to our website. It is gotten updated and continues to get more updating. But we do have a news feed, and in that news feed, you'll see it says, "Hey, we got a newsletter." Shout out to that. Sign up here, subscribe. So subscribe to our newsletter, because that's what's up. And you'll see in our newsletter, kicking it for a cause. Shout out to
Yes.
man, this is lit, a lit space. It's a twist on the town hall that we have been doing for some months now, right? I mean, it started off as a segment, but we moved into in person, and we've been doing our in person spaces for like since June. And
Mhm.
so unfortunately, November is the last one of this year. So we need y'all to come turn up with us because we'll be at the cam.
Yes, we done made it, y'all. The Contemporary Art Museum. Whoop, whoop.
We going up, up, up. But yes, we're gonna be at the cam November 30th. Doors open at 6. Food. This is gonna be game edition. We usually have a conversation, but this time we finna have fun. Cause the holidays is here and that'll be after Thanksgiving. So we don't want to just do too much work. We want to bring in some joy, some black joy, some laughter, spend some time together, network, and just have some all authentic fun. It's a fun space. You can check it out on Eventbrite, and you can put in "kicking it for a cause." And yeah, I think I could put the link in the chat. Maybe we'll see. But yes, check us out, y'all. Come on, come have fun.
Yeah,
Got
come on.
anything, Kelly?
So I will share. I'm super excited. I will be doing a screening of Straight Facts with the young people at Herbert Hoover Boys and Girls Club on Thursday. Middle school age kids. So please pray for me. Um, but no, jokes aside, I'm really excited. For folks that aren't aware, Straight Facts is an animated web series. I was able to come up with working with an awesome team of mine. Shout out to Marcus Newsom, the animator, and Ryan Nico doing the voice work. And so it's 5 episodes and it breaks down how our local government works. So anyone that wants, and it's available on YouTube on my channel here, just, look at the little playlist, Straight Facts, whoop, wop, bloop, click it. 5 episodes, 25 minutes long. However, if you want me to come, share a few anecdotes here or there, some special intel, and plus I like to break bread with folks if I can. Put it out there. So hit me up on all the platforms at Kelly McG 314 if you want me to come and host a special screening for your community. So young people, old people, it don't matter. Again, as
All the people.
we've been talking about this whole show, all of our shows, we talked about, again, holding our elected officials accountable to make sure we have what we deserve in our communities and being engaged in local government. That is part of it. You got to know the process. You got to be engaged and involved in order to be in the game. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yes.
Peep Straight Facts, watch it, share it, holler at me if you want special screening. And like I said, I always provide way too much information. So you might get some interesting information that no one else can get in special screening.
Exclusive.
Facts. So that is it, y'all. Whoop whoop. Please,
Yes.
if you
Yes.
view this after our live, still feel free to comment.
Yes.
Any questions, and please share this with other people
Share.
because we're trying to build, we're trying to grow, we're really trying to do a lot of things to make sure we show up and we make sure these people don't do what, Chevelle?
Run from that accountability. Stop
Yes.
running from that accountability. I'm gonna make it into a song.
You
Don't
should.
run from that accountability. Don't run from that accountability.
Oh, 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 oh,
They
oh,
got her running from accountability.
oh,
They got her running.
oh, oh.
No running from accountability. Let's hold them accountable. We can't let them run, y'all.
No, we can't.
No.
It's too much at stake, y'all.
Yes. Too much. We gotta do it.
I know. So until next week, again, we'll be here at same time, same place next Monday. Go vote. All that stuff.
Yes.
Be safe out here. Be safe.
Yes.
And take care. Till next week, y'all. Peace.